that whether or not you were going to have a definitive great career with WWE is not the issue. The fact is that that whole situation screwed you out of potential cash from Vince. How does the court not give you anything? There's got to be something.
He ended up, he lost. He owes me. We had an actuary calculate how long an average wrestler lasts in WWE, what the average amount of money they make is, right. And that's what the decision was based on. I also had some damages. For instance, the first treatment to get me cured of Hep C didn't work, so I had to take an experimental treatment the second time, which cost me $80,000, and I had to take 6 months off of work while I was on that treatment, so it cost me a lot just to get cured from this disease. I also was doing one job working with violent handicapped people, which I got laid off from when they found out I had Hep C, so it even affected me in my regular income. But the thing is, I would have had to press criminal charges within 2 years of getting cut, but I didn't know I had Hep C till 2009.
Right.
And it was at that point I had double blood matches with was Abdullah the Butcher.
Right.
So we were reviewing the tapes of my matches with Abdullah, and it was actually one of my camera guys that saw the footage of Abdullah cutting me with the blade.
The same blade.
And then, so that's exactly, that was what the whole case was based on, him cutting me with the used razor blade. It wasn't just us bleeding in a match, because when two people are bleeding from small razor cuts in a match, blood is flowing outwards. It may or may not get into the actual cuts, but sharing a razor blade, that's a proven way of catching Hep C. So that's what that whole case was based on. That's why I can't say. I know Jacques Rougeau has Hep C. He's going through the treatment now. He's wrestled Abdullah in the past.
Right.
Billy Graham had Hep C. He got cured. He wrestled Abdullah in the past.
Here's a three-part question then. Did you get any money from Abdullah? If not, did you get an apology from Abdullah? And probably the most important question of that, obviously after your match with Abdullah, you don't know you have contracted Hep C. Did you go into any other matches where you drew blood with a different wrestler, and were you concerned for that wrestler, and did you inform them once you knew?
There was one wrestler who I had a single blood match with in 2008 named Jeremy Prophet, and I did inform him, and he got himself tested and he was clear. So that was one thing that I was concerned about, because that was one of the first things that popped into my mind, was Jeremy, who I was friends with. For Abdullah, here was the issue. We got the judgment in Canada, and it took 2 years to get the judgment endorsed in the US. In that 2 years, he was able to transfer properties. He was able to sell his main restaurant, which he also owned the property of, sell the property. So in order to get the money now, I would basically have to sue the people that bought the properties off of him, because you're not allowed to actually liquidate your assets after you have a judgment. But that's a whole other lawsuit. And I've already spent literally tens of thousands of dollars on the first lawsuit. So I don't want to be involved in lawsuits anymore. So he does owe me a couple $1 million. We'll see when he passes away. His estate will be held, because I do have a lien against him.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with that. If he ever that's the other thing. Like he sold his business. He does have one restaurant left. It's not under his name, and it's under an incorporation. So we can't garnish the income he's getting from that secondary restaurant. Okay. So it's just been unfortunate that this slime ball. No, he hasn't apologized, even though we have his records. He never even publicly admitted that he has Hep C, and he's taken no apology, and he certainly hasn't paid anything of the judgment.
Boy, you've handled this well. I would be in a rage. I
Well,
don't know how you handle this so well.
I will never attend a convention that he is at.
Yeah.
Myself personally, I might send other crews, because I don't want to be in front of him. The thing is, like, he cost me so much money.